Now I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. It's the time for the next level of our program, which is really recognizing Karen. And it's a little unusual that, in society we celebrate people's accomplishments and successes by, pulling them up in front of all their peers and making fun of them. But, that's the way I believe these, roasts have kind of unfolded. And I'm not used to making fun of people, especially when they're right here. It's usually a lot easier when they're gone. And it's also not something we really practice. At work, when an employee does a great job, you don't exactly bring them up in front of everybody and poke fun at them. I don't know how that's going to work for motivation going forward. But really, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And Karen, you've got a lot of successes and accomplishments to celebrate. As many of you are, I'm sure, aware, when it comes to poking fun at people, there's a spectrum. There's the low end of the spectrum. Might be your brother-in-law, maybe that friend from high school, somebody with weird quirks, mannerisms, somebody who's gone their whole life making poor decisions. That's a relatively easy person to poke at and get a reaction. Then you've got the other end of the spectrum, and that's really where I'd put Karen. In a steam company of maybe Michael Scott from The Office might be up there, or Cousin Eddie from the National Lampoon movies. People who have always made sound and thoughtful decisions, are strategic and skilled in all they do, and really exude a level of class in all their interactions. I spent a lot of time really thinking about how do we poke fun at Karen, and there's a couple areas. She's been an incredible leader for our club. She's an entrepreneur, having founded her firm. She's a mother, a wife, a former Fortune 500 C-suite executive, an Ivy League alum, and she's active in boards throughout the city. I mean, basically, she is the polar opposite of me. And not only, in terms of our resume, but our physical stature as well. We may have, for successive presidents, the biggest gap in verticality that there's been out there. And fortunately, due to the format of these meetings, it's not, back and forth between her and I. Otherwise, we might have fatigued this microphone to the point of having to replace it. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but a couple weeks back, we transitioned from Rotary's 110-year history of recognizing guests verbally from the podium as they come in to briefly flashing their names up on the screen. That's 110 years of history and tradition, and we walked away from it pretty quickly. I'm not there's coincidences. I asked some questions and I was told it had nothing to do with our recognition and pronunciation of the guests' names from the podium. And I will say, the reading of the names is one of the tougher tasks you have as president. I mean, Rotary's an international organization. You've got members from all over the world. We're a fairly diverse group, different religions, different ethnicities. It's not easy to get a bunch of names thrown at you, and really at the last minute, there's constantly changes. Somebody's not here, somebody else showed up. It's not an easy thing, but Karen, come on! I mean, sometimes you just have to talk fast and mumble and power through it. So, since I know this is not going to be your last public leadership role, I have for you the name book. Now, again, I think this is more geared towards, potentially new parents, and I'm sure, you and Bob don't have plans on any more children at this point, but there are 10,000 names, their meanings, origins, and significance, so you can practice on the pronunciation. So next time around, you can do a phenomenal job. One of the things you realize as you transition from current president to past president is when you're the current president, Rotarians come up to you all the time and tell you what the club should do. Once you become the past president, you're in more of a safe space for members. So they come up to you and they tell you what they don't ask, don't tell you what the club should do, but they ask the questions as why. Why did the club do this? Or, why didn't the club do that? And to shed a little more light on that, please welcome Jamie Reeve up to give some announcements.
Todd, until you just mentioned her trouble with names, I didn't realize why Saj called her the butcher. Karen, as leader of the program committee, you're welcome. It was a great year. There was no issues with any of the politicians who came in or the weeks of hand-wringing leading up to that. But I really do appreciate how you worked the crowd terrifically before each and every one of them, assuring them that you gave them your vote. So thank you for voting often. Also, it's interesting, you're kind of the anti-Karen. In the meme of being a Karen, you are the anti-Karen. So thank you for being that, not Karen. And if you don't understand that, ask your teen, or I'll give you my teen's number and he'll give you a grunt. So I did do an informal poll of some various astute members, and I think we unanimously agree, Karen, you have hung around long enough. Your time has come. But praise is duly yours today. One member added, thanks for being the anti-Karen. Just like Socrates was to Athens, Karen was our club's original gadfly. Thank you. Someone said, they've seen many other presidents come and go, and on the day of departure, it can be emotional. You can be sad, you can be whimsical. We prefer you just leave quietly and quickly. And then Mary isn't here, which is interesting, but she commissioned me to come up with a song just for you. So I've composed a very heartfelt song commemorating. I'm glad your husband's here to see this. Ed, can you give me a perfect pitch E? This is your favorite song. It isn't very long.
Thank you, Jamie. I see over there, Saj Takaneri. I'm sorry, President-elect Saj, you have a question. Noticed that both Karen and Darren the president utilize the scooter. And as an upcoming president, I'm wondering, will I be required to use a scooter? Is there anything else I should be worried about? Hey, very good question. So today I don't think there is a Rotary mandate for a scooter, but based on previous history, you might want to start, shopping Facebook Marketplace out there. If you do want to avoid the scooter, a couple words of advice. I'd suggest you as an incoming president, you listen to Mary McCormick and do what she says. When she strongly suggests something, I'd suggest doing it. She does know a lot of people, and she can send some not-so-subtle messages if she has to, so keep that in mind. And if for some reason you do find yourself on a scooter, you're welcome to utilize some skill and grace getting up to the stage and out. I mean, geez, Karen, it was like a high-wire trapeze act show at times, trying to watch you come up and down. I also am not sure of Rotary's ability to provide a driver to Leslie or Saj. I know, Steve Chevrolet, Steve former President Steve doesn't live on your side of town, and I think it's going to be a little tough for him to ride you to every meeting and every function. So with that, I do want to just sincerely thank Karen. It's been an honor to serve with you. You're an inspirational leader, and you've really left a lasting legacy on this club. Just to put it out there, under Karen's leadership, We've increased our scholarship endowment, I believe, to the over $1 million amount. We increased it by $150,000 or over 10%. That's putting kids to school. We've completed or finalized plans to do over $500,000 of work in Guatemala. We finished the La Quinta, I believe it's the La Quinta Hospital Water Project, as well as secured the funding from multiple districts to undertake our next big Guatemala project. We've kicked off Rotary's next big project, the search for really finding that next impactful project that this Rotary Club's going to be able to do. We've awarded $30,000 in Community Connections grants. We supported Chris Calenda's Honor Ride, raising money not just for military families, but for our scholarship program as well. We've raised $22,000 for polio. We've sorted 120 tons of medical supplies to send to the Ukraine. We've raised $130,000 for generators to send to Ukraine so that, school children, orphanages, they have power throughout the day. We started the Summer Scholar Program with Donald Driver. We were the recipient of the 2023 Benjamin Franklin Award from the Milwaukee Public Library Foundation. We initiated the Fresh 40 exhibit and sale, something that's hopefully going to be an annual thing supporting Rotary and other charities throughout Milwaukee. In addition to that, we planted grass plugs with the UEC, participated in the Riverkeeper cleanup, packaged food, rang the bell for Salvation Army. Many, many other things, too many to really even name. In addition to all that, we grew our number of Rotarians by over 10. So with that, Karen, thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you for everything you do. And everybody, please welcome Karen up to the stage. So for Karen, we do have her pin, signifying she is a past president of the Rotary Club of Milwaukee. She's graduated. And we also have her Rotary International gavel, the gavel she's used throughout her term, presented to Karen Hung, President, Rotary Club of Milwaukee, 2022 to 2023. Thank you so
much. Wow. I'm soaking you all in. And Leslie asked me if I was going to get emotional. I said, I don't know, but I think I've already started. So here we go. Thank you, Todd Bootley. Todd Bootley, immediate past president. Although the immediate part is not for much longer. I want to thank Jamie for the anti-Karen and the song Who Knew. And Saj, I'm not even bothered pronouncing your last name. The scooter is every other president. So that'll be you, my friend. All right, hopefully not. Rotarians, I am just going to center my outgoing remarks around an acronym, ESG. How many of you have ever heard of ESG? All right, a few of you. So it's usually known in the business community for environmental, social, and governance. But today for us, we're going to call it engagement, stewardship, and gratitude. Engagement, stewardship, and gratitude. So first, in terms of engagement, before I officially became president last July, we started listening. I'm glad Tom talked about listening. We had listening sessions in the winter and spring, and I'm looking out and I see a number of you who participated in that because we really wanted to get to know Rotarians and better, and also to understand what was really on your hearts and minds. We just come out of the pandemic. What was on your hearts and minds? And we learned a lot around what is important to you. So from our listening sessions, we crafted a vision for our 2022 and 23 year. And they center around three themes under engagement: impact, relationships, and learning. So what about the impact? Todd just mentioned it. Over the last 12 months, we launched our next large project, the Project 2024, and it also coincides with our 110th anniversary. This was something really personally meaningful that we would do as a club, and I'm so pleased that we as a board voted it in. And Todd, so appreciative of your leadership. I look forward to more work along in this. And President Leslie, it's going to be under your watch as well. And Saj, I think you will be the one to bring it all the way home. So really pleased with that. Continue with our impact theme. Over the last 12 months, we've increased not only the number of service projects and humanitarian initiatives and civic involvement, but we've increased our participation. Just even the last few weeks, 100 of us, 100 of you, showed up to pack medical supplies, 60 at planting, and so many others. So I just want to say all of this has been so incredibly heartwarming. So incredibly heartwarming. So thank you for that. Our second theme is about relationships under engagement, and early listening sessions were clear. I remember somebody said, hey, I get to meet people, but I don't get to know people. So I'm looking over here. Some of the folks who've been involved, our membership engagement committee got together and reformatted so we would have our own get to know Rotarian sessions. And how fun were they? I don't know if you saw and felt it, but the vibe was just so great. So really appreciate all of you participating in that. Learning through engagement. Jamie's already called it out, but boy, have we had a great range of speakers and various opportunities to learn with and from each other. From the bucks to chocolates, to government, to economics, businesses, and of course, major projects that are going on civically. So big thanks to all who helped to pursue those opportunities for us to learn. So that's engagement. On to our second acronym, S, which is for stewardship. So our stewardship, we are 110 years old, major milestone. We are a large club. We have so many blessings. And as I depart your role as president, I just want to impress upon you that we are all stewards of our club. So let's just make sure we continue to be vigilant to ensure that we are vibrant for the next generations and for our future impact, because we are continuing to build legacy through our stewardship. And then finally, our third acronym letter. Now, you all have heard the saying, I save the best for last, right? Yeah. So today I say, instead, I save the most for last, which is G for gratitude. So I want to thank 4 different groups of people for their work this year. Now, this is where I'm starting to get a little verklempt. First group I want to thank is for those who serve us. So they're back in the room. Saj, now I can't even pronounce it, the SAS team and the War Memorial Parking and Maintenance team. Thank you so much for what you do for us. I hope you feel the love. You are part of the Rotary Club of Milwaukee experience every week. Thank you. The second group I want to thank is those who support us. So our small and super mighty Rotary office team. Mary, who's on a very special big family vacation in Northwest Idaho with no internet access, I think. Aaron, Melissa, Ann, thank you so much for your incredible diligence and care throughout the year for all the things we undertake. We appreciate you more than you know, and we need you more than you know. So, third group I'd like to honor is those who lead us. So that's the Rotary Club Board of Directors and Committee Chairs. Please rise. Club, Board Directors and Committee Chairs, please rise. There's so many things that happen behind the scenes in our club. Strategic thinking, operational planning, fiduciary oversight, and seamless delivery of all that we do together. So thank you so much for your time your heart, your leadership, your actions. And then the last group is for those who engage. That's all of us. Everybody stand and let's just celebrate this wonderful club. And I want to mention all those accomplishments we made this year that Todd rattled off. It was because of all of us. All of us. So thank you so much for all your engagement. So ESG, Rotary's ESG, engagement, stewardship, and gratitude. And to conclude, I created a homemade montage. It is homemade, so just forgive the quality here. But these are pictures I took throughout some of my journey as your Rotary president, and it's a visual tribute to capture and encapsulate some of our achievements, impact, and experiences together. Erin? All right, so we have captured the moment, and I just want to say, in closing, my dear Rotary Club of Milwaukee members, my personal ambition this year was to be your president, the people's president. And you're an incredible group of people. Give me a moment here. Collectively, you're so impactful and unstoppable. Thank you for the opportunity and the honor of engaging and stewarding this club alongside of you. I'm so grateful for each one of you. Thank you. Now it's time to transition to our next Rotary year and next Rotary president. Please welcome Leslie Hauser, retired Managing Director at KPMG, as the 2023 to 2024 Rotary Club of Milwaukee President. President Leslie, come on up. I'd like to present to you the President's pin.
Thank you.
And your gavel.
Yes. Thank you. I'll just give you a quick hug to think like, oh, you can do a great job. Great.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna be amazing.
Yes. Okay. Thanks, President Karen. 110th, you're the 110th president, and it's going to be hard to create a list that Todd just rattled off. So, unfortunately, you've set a very high bar. I'd rather be in Todd's shoes than mine. So, yeah, Todd, you got the luckier straw in this one. And names, I completely agree. That's all I tend to talk about is how to pronounce names. Ask Carl, okay, how do you think you pronounce that? Those 2 vowels or those 70 consonants all in a row. So I appreciate that. For those of you who may not know me, I am, as Karen mentioned, I am retired tax managing director from KPMG. And the gentleman over in that corner hired me, I'm not going to say how many years ago, at KPMG. And I was great. I've been grateful ever since. So thank you very much, Roger. I loved it there, and I'm just as happy to be retired, though. So I am happy in my current state. My husband, Carl, who is a new Rotarian, is over there. And if I do hurt myself and need a scooter, I do have my own driver. So thank you for being concerned, but he will drive me, unfortunately, maybe for him, every Tuesday if anything does go wrong. My daughter, Chelsea, who is one of 5, was elected to come and join today. So I think her siblings are happy that she drew the short straw. And my parents are here, which I'm very happy to have them. And we have 4 grandchildren with 1 more on the way. So this will be an exciting year for me, not to mention being in this position, but also being excited about being a grandmother for the 5th time. I've been in Rotary for 12 years, and there is a woman right there who started this journey for me. Joanne Anton invited me to a meeting and encouraged me, even though I told her my schedule was too busy and it was not going to work. What was she thinking? She encouraged me to join. And I really, really appreciate that a lot because I've gotten more out of this experience than you probably know. It's been great. It's been absolutely great. So thank you. And thank you for being here today. So I appreciate that. Over the years, I have mentored Rotary scholars. I have planted trees, as were mentioned, in the Arboretum. I've packed food, lots of food at Feeding America. I have golfed, I think once or twice, not my favorite thing to do. I'm trying to get better. But I have volunteered, and I really liked that this last year. And I've recently traveled to Guatemala, and that was a true experience. Seeing what the World Community Service team does there, and with water and bridge projects, meeting those that are in Guatemala through Rotary or experiencing what we have been a part of completing. So I've enjoyed everything I've done, and I'm looking forward to doing more. As I prepared for the role, I spent quite a bit of time with Mary, the board, past presidents, and the various committees and their chairs to learn what is going on behind the scenes. It's impressive how much our club has done in the past. It's impressive, as Todd walked through, what our club has done in the last year. And as I'm getting calendar invites from many individuals, 2 right in front of me to point fingers, and my calendar is becoming Rotary. I had to color code it so I knew what was Rotary. I'm very impressed with the committees do each month. It's a lot, and I know that most of you know it, but from my vantage point, I definitely need the help and support of everyone. As Karen noted, we have a vibrant, healthy club with strong leadership, a team that works well together. From Mary, our executive director, and along with her team, Melissa, Aaron, and Ann, to the board, past presidents, committee chairs, and not to mention the many members who regularly volunteer so much of their time and talent. I thank all of you because it is a lot of work to do what we do. I feel fortunate to be surrounded by all of you, your knowledge and your support, because I know I'm going to need it. In May, I attended the Rotary International Conference in Melbourne, Australia, with a number of Wisconsin Rotarians. During the 4-day meeting, there were many breakout sessions that referenced the 4 priorities of Rotary's mission. I believe our club's thoughtful approach to incorporating these 4 priorities, increasing our impact, expanding our reach, enhancing engagement, and improving our ability to adapt is a best practice. Many wanted to hear what our club was doing, and we're very impressed with all of the aspects that we incorporate into our daily meetings, as well as all the things that the committees do. I came away from the conference excited to be a Rotarian and part of the 1.4 million Rotarians worldwide. But even more than that, I came away proud to be a part of this club and the work we do locally and internationally. During the next few months, we will continue to recognize our 110th year and incorporate a few of events that will be part of our prior large projects into the meetings. July 18th, about 3 weeks. July 18th meeting will be at the Urban Stables, which was our last large project. So it's not going to be at Memorial Hall. Please try to join us to hear about the wonderful work they are doing for the community, with veterans, and tour the facility. There will be more details to come. The first week of August, as Dan noted, is going to be, our meeting will be live at the lakefront and at the Rotary Amphitheater, and that will be to recognize our scholars. So please come out for some great music, meet the impressive scholars, and hang out with your fellow Rotarians. And Sunday, October 8th, will be the Hike Milwaukee through the Rotary Arboretum at the Urban Ecology Center's Hike Milwaukee. And if you have not seen that outdoor space, it's a fabulous space. And as was referenced, it was a big grass planting this year. Lots and lots of grass was planted, and it was a beautiful day. I wasn't able to make it, but I hear the weather was perfect. And as you know, our wonderful speakers and programs, thank you, Jamie, for leading the committee, are really a cornerstone of our club. And our next meeting is Tuesday, July 11th, and Dr. Jeremy Kadzora, the Pieper Power Endowed Chair in Artificial Intelligence at Milwaukee School of Engineering, say that 3 times fast, will be our speaker. Thank you, Saj. He will be talking about beyond the hype of ChatGPT and what is AI. I highly recommend being at that meeting, and I hear there'll be a ChatGPT demo as part of the meeting that he's going to go through. And last but not least, please watch for our upcoming summer and fall Thai Rotarian tours. Yes, they're coming back. They're a fan favorite. Jerry and Dave Hoover are going to be putting together a number of tours. And then we have our fall movie series on the 1619 project at No Studios. If you have not been to No Studios, I highly recommend coming. It's almost too comfy to watch a movie. It was touch and go if a few of us fell asleep. And then our monthly networking socials will begin again in September. So there's going to be a lot going on. So please read the email that comes out twice a week, Friday and Tuesday. It has a lot of great information. And I know it's a lot, but it's what we do, and it's all great. So if you can make a little of it, great. If you're too busy, we understand, but cherry pick what works for you. I thank all of you for being a part of Rotary, and I'm really looking forward to the next year. So thanks so much. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you. Thanks. I have just a couple of announcements. So we do not have a meeting next Tuesday. It's 4th of July. So if you come here, nobody else is going to be here. And the parking. So what time is it now? Oh, it's about right. It's about 1:10. Okay, so the gates will be open for the next 20 minutes. And if you are going to be leaving after 1:30, please get a ticket so you can get out. And I believe this is my official ending for the meeting. Please go and do some good in the world.